Everybody, welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name. Today we are going to be talking about Estra here. So Estra is actually a very cool character. I think it's been a little while since we've had an Alacrity character, it's also cool to have a Drifter, but in general, a Seeker. Kind of a cool type. So this is basically a assassin, and they specialize in being a mage assassin. Although don't let that dissuade you. This does seem to be a Kavar level character, a kaiju level threat, if you will. But whereas Kavar does really, really good AoE damage and a lot of damage over time, I think he does great single target damage too. But he really does have that insane AoE. This character kind of goes all in on that single target damage. In fact, I don't think they have a single way to hit more than one thing in a turn. I mean, they do have a way here with a re-attack if they kill something, but for the most part, they are going to be doing one big attack in a turn, but don't let that dissuade you either. They do a lot of damage. So there's going to be a lot of stages where there's like 50 enemies in a stage or something. Maybe not literally, but it's like maybe 15 enemies in a stage, and you may not want to bring this character. But if you're going up against anything strong, this character is absolutely going to be something you're going to want to consider using. So let's kind of go over it. I'm going to go with the 3-star version. So you could basically a 5-star, they're fucking busted. All right. There's so many different things, but they have their primary functionality at 3-star. They are going to be very good. I just like judging characters based off 3-star because I still have so many characters that aren't at 5-star. 3-star feels like such a good spot where most players are going to be able to get them free to play pretty easily in a shorter amount of time. So first they have jump. Jump is pretty good. And at the start of every turn, so Samoa had to get to fucking rank 4, I think, to get her shield at the start of every turn. But at the start of the turn, you gain a magical shield equal to 150% of your magic defense. So they seem to already have a higher than normal magic defense base here. I don't know exactly, I mean, it's not insane, but it is, quite a bit higher than their physical defense at least. When attacking, 35% of your magical shield value is added to your physical attack. So that's roughly going to mean, the way it breaks down is it's roughly going to be, I think it's 52% of your magic defense, right? So if you have 100 magic defense, right, and then you're getting 150% of that, so you're getting times 1.5, 150%, and then you're getting 35% of that, which is going to be 52. So if you have 100 magic defense, you're going to get 52, which is like roughly 52%. So it should be roughly 52% if you are going to get, if you have 1,000 magic defense, right? Which is probably going to be a little bit closer when you have gear and stuff on. So if I look at a character like Convallaria, he might have a little bit high here at 1,000. A lot of characters don't quite have that much. But if I look at him and we run the numbers, you're going to get about a bonus 525 physical attack when attacking. That's pretty good for being one line into a passive. So this is pretty good. And because you get the magic shield at the start of your turn, means you are going to essentially get full value out of it unless you take damage during your turn from some sort of source. But point is, this is a very good buff. It's probably not going to quite be this high. It'll probably be a little bit lower, just from the fact that you probably aren't going to have... You're not a destroyer, right? So you're going to have lower base stats in general. But also, before attacking... For each 1 energy the target is missing, damage dealt is increased by up 6% up to 18%, and this goes up to 10% up to 30% at 5-star. When attacking characters with no energy, so that would be 18% more damage, your physical attack is additionally increased by 10 more percent. So just look at this. When you're attacking, you are getting 52% of your magic defense to your attack. You are getting 18% bonus damage. You're getting 10% bonus physical attack. And then when you're performing a non-instant single target attack on a character with magic attack greater than physical attack, so it's going to be some mage style character, or this character destroys Simona because they can also ignore physical shield. But you first deplete 2 energy from the target, and then you deal an additional physical attack equal to 60% of your physical. So this is just more damage, more damage, more damage, and more damage. And I guess we could take a look at the 5-star. So here, 10 to 30, 20% more damage, Deplete 2 energy and deal additional damage. Oh, and then you get the final thing here. It's just more numbers, but also at the end of the turn, reduce the cooldown of your reaction and class skills by an additional turn. So you get to use your class skills, your really, really good ones, like all the time. And that's the big thing from 5-star. But you still are getting most of the boosts here. So this trait is absolutely insane. It's all single target damage. How good is single target damage? I'm going to leave that up to you, where you're at in the game. Sometimes for some fights, it's absolutely the best thing you could have. Other times, I just want to do a bunch of damage to a bunch of different things. Like, if this character does twice as much damage as Kavar single target, that's still going to be less good on maps with like 8 characters, because he could hit all 8. So he'll still do 4 times more total map damage. But there are going to be maps where you're absolutely going to want to use this character here. But basic attack, they do a 2-hit 50%, which is, I like these 2 hits anyway. I don't know if they're necessarily better. There doesn't seem to be like a reason that they have it other than it's more thematic. There's not like every time you deal damage, you deal an additional thing, right? Unless they do count like this, like counts as every attack. Again, I'm going kind of off of, I don't have the character, right? They're not in the game yet. So maybe the 2 attacks will help double proc that stuff. But overall, it's just pretty good. This is insane, but I think the double blade is probably just pretty good. It's more fun than anything. Blinding strike is their main skill. A little bit weird for me. I don't know if I think it's particularly insane. But this will help them dealing with lots of targets, you know, with more targets, because we've had a lot of AoE stuff recently, and this kind of lets them do something. So you get a teleport behind the target, and then you can move again 4 tiles. But before you get the move again, you perform your basic attack. And then before attacking, increases damage dealt by 40% and ignores assist. If the enemy is defeated, you can re-attack. So this is basically a super version of your basic attack, because it allows you to teleport. So you get to teleport 3 tiles, then you attack them with a 40% boost, getting all your Sorcerer's Bane stuff, and then you get to move 4 tiles after that as well. And if you kill them, you get to re-attack. So this is very strong, especially because there's no cooldown on this. So re-attack will allow you to can re-enter the attack turn. I assume it'll let you use Blinding Strike again. You probably won't be in range to auto attack, because your auto attack is a range of 1, right? But maybe you could Blinding Strike again to kill something else. Demon Hunting Trap, I think this might be a mistranslation here, because this looks a lot like, maybe it's the exact same thing as the current Hunting Trap that we have like on Outlaw Archer, but it's just instant. I don't think his is instant. So this is good, but I don't think you're ever going to actually use this. It is just kind of neat, I suppose. Thunder Arrow, though. Thunder Arrow. I thought this, when I first read this character, I thought they were arranged because of Thunder Arrow. When performing a non-instant single target attack, active attack, I mean, that includes dual blade strike. This might even, again, this might count twice, but I don't think it does. I don't think it counts 2 different attacks, because it just deals damage 2 times. Shoots a crossbow bolt at the target, dealing 30% physical damage. Then you deplete an energy from the target, and then you inflict no active skills and no energy recovery for 2 turns. You do this whenever you attack. So now you're doing, you know, the 52% magic defense, the 18% physical, and the 10% additional, and sometimes you're doing 60% more while depleting all their energy, and doing 30% more, depleting more of their energy, turning off their active skills. Like, what the fuck is this, bro? This is insane. This is if you just have this, their base skill, and you're at rank 1 with Thunder Arrow. Like, that we haven't even gotten to the really good stuff yet. But I think Thunder Arrow is absolutely going to make it onto the bar. I really like Thunder Arrow. If we look at rank 3, Hookshot is just basic. Like, I like Hookshot, but you're probably not going to take it unless you really want to use Castalia to get the HP. However, Shadow Step is pretty sick. You get a teleport behind the enemy, so instead of using 2 energy, you get to use 0 energy, but it has a 4-turn cooldown. You get to steal 2 energy from them, and then you deplete 2 energy from them. So this takes 4 energy from the target, gives 2 of it to you at instant speed. Pretty good if you're fighting something that you really need that on. It might be a little bit overkill. I'm not sure if I would run it over Blinding Strike, because this also has a teleport, but I could use it every turn. But it is kind of expensive. There is potentially a reason, like if you get up to 5-star and every time you do an attack or whatever, you get to lower the cooldown. So maybe this is only actively a 2-turn cooldown, makes it a little bit better. I don't love either of these. Shadow Step is definitely kind of cool though, and could be pretty specifically good in some like fights, right, where they regenerate a lot of energy. Just a magical defense. I mean, it's cool, but Shadow Evasion, believe it or not, this is fucking sick. Before receiving an active single target attack from an enemy from the back or side, so not from the front, they have to be behind you or to the side of you. So it's actually good because you could attack someone and then run away. And if they can't move all the way around you, they attack you in the back. You perform a preemptive teleport behind the target. Then you perform a basic attack and you interrupt their turn. So they go to attack you, you teleport behind them, stab them, not for a lot of damage, but still, it's a single target attack. So it might proc a couple of the things. It probably does it because it's not an active attack, it's a reaction. So it probably doesn't trigger most of your stuff. But you interrupt their action. 2-turn cooldown, but again, if you actually get to that 5-star level, it's where it's crazy, right? At the end of the turn, reduces the cooldown of your reaction skill. So you actually get this every turn, right? Because it'll go to a 1-turn cooldown instead, because your turn will end, you'll get a reaction on it. Pretty good reaction. I don't like it's badass, but I don't love reactions that have cooldowns. It's just not my favorite thing. I mean, but a lot of them have it like now. It's good. Stance of Exorcism. I'm actually kind of interested. I thought this might be good enough, but I don't think so. I don't think the magical shield stacks. Because you get 35% of your magical shield added to your physical attack, and this gives you a magical shield equal to 80% of your physical attack. It means this is just good, right? You're getting effectively 35% of an 80% of your magic attack added, but you also get magic defense up, and you have higher magic defense. That'll give you more passive magic shield. The thing is, I haven't used magic shield enough to know, or even armor enough, honestly, to kind of know if you can get multiple different magic shields stacked to your character. Tristan's wording on her trait makes me think you could have multiple instances. So I think you can have this magical shield and this magical shield and then attack. And I think that could be good. It is instant. It does cost 2 energy. I'm not sure if it's going to make the cut, though, because the potion seems kind of insane. So you have 2 instant skills, and they're both crazy. We'll start with the one that I think is less good, but still very good. Dispels all debuffs from the target at instant speed, right? And recovers 1 energy. And then you gain Mana Ward. Increases your defense by 30%, so that includes your magical defense, so that is not quite equivalent to magic defense 2, but it's close. Then you gain a magical shield equal to 150% of your physical attack, so it's already insane. It's better than Shield of Exorcism. Although you might only be able to use this once. I don't actually know. It doesn't say that on here, but I wouldn't be surprised. Before being hit by magical attacks... Oh, you gain control immunity before being hit by magical attacks lasting for 4 turns. And when the effect ends, you get a debuff. But instantly, you get 150% of your physical attack as magical shield, and you get a 30% defense. This is just this skill, but better. And it does. I don't know if it costs energy. It doesn't look like it costs energy, but it can be kind of hard to tell here. But then the other one that's maybe better. Maybe better. It's an embarrassment of riches with this character. An absolute embarrassment of riches. I should zoom in a little bit. I'm sorry. Halfway through the video, 9/3 through the video. Let's go. All right. Instant recovers an energy and gains Dark Devour. Increase crit. I bet you can't use these on the same turn, but if you can, it'll be broken. Increase crit by 45%. You get 30% lifesteal and doubles the damage increased effect in your trait for each 1 energy the target is missing, lasting for 4 turns. So now this, instead of doing what at rank 5-star 30%, it's going to be 60% more damage, right? So that's already insane. Yeah. That lasts for 4 turns, by the way. So you're getting a huge damage boost. And if you can get both of these, it's just an insane amount of damage. This is The Witcher, bro. This is Geralt of Rivia here. So now you come over here to rank 9. I think it is kind of debatable. You either just get the 50% 2 times, but you get a little bit of lifesteal. Could be good with the teleport, a way to more consistently heal. Or the Spine Pierce is likely better. When you do a back attack, you ignore their physical shield. This will destroy Simona. So this is probably better. It doesn't do 2 hits. It just does 1 hit. And it makes me kind of wonder if the 2 hits is actually better or not. I don't think the 2 hits matters too much, because it's not I don't think these skills count like on damage, and each of these individual hits is their own attacks. But I don't know, man, because when Nona Will does her like 3-hit spin, effects will trigger after her first hit, and then she'll finish the other 2 hits. But it's honestly, we just need a little bit more testing. Obviously, it's very good. 110% basic is good. Ignoring physical shield is not the most insane. But I mean, it's good. But also the fact that it like stacks with so much of this other shit where it's insane, right? And you already have the ability to ignore assists, so you don't need to worry about someone jumping in front if you're using that move. I think it's probably just a pretty safe pick, but I would definitely consider Feverish Attack here. I might even prefer Feverish Attack, but I don't think this is gonna make or break the character too much. Doom Decoy. Before a non-instant single target active attack, a lot of that text on this character, you steal 3 buffs from the character. After the attack, transfer 3 debuffs. So it's after you attack, you transfer 3 of your debuffs from you to the target. So you basically, if they have 3 buffs, you have 3 debuffs is the ideal situation. You take the buffs, you attack them, you give them your debuffs. If the target has, if they have no buffs and you have no debuffs, so that means that you have to have neither of these. It's impossible to fight someone with no fucking buffs. Bro, they're going to have some kind of buff. But if both of those are true, then you gain 4 random level 2 buffs for 2 turns. That's good. I don't know how many there are. There's not like a ton of them. V before battle. That's exactly what I wanted. How'd you know? I think this ability is not that great. I mean, every time you attack, you get to steal 3 buffs. That is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if it makes the bar. I don't know. Like, I want Potion. I really want Thunder Arrow. And so I'm thinking I'm keeping Blinding Strike on just so I have a damaging ability. Or I might be using Node Restraints here. A single target attack, a range of 1 to 3. It's already good. It's a range 1 to 3, which is also really good because all of his other stuff is kind of shorter. Ignores reaction skills. That's huge. Think like Guzman, you know, sorry, no 50 to 80% damage reduction. Then you deal 40 damage to the target, so you hit him for 40%. Then you deal 100% damage before attacking. For each 1 energy the target is missing, your damage dealt increases to 130% up to 90%. So when defeating an enemy, you recover 3 energy. This is just a big hit. This is going to be a 200%, and I think it's plus the 40. I think the 40 always does that. I don't think that that's going to scale up as well. It's a little bit hard to read, but basically this is just a big single target nuke. And keep in mind, again, you're doing 40% and then 190%, and then you're also doing up here with 30%, and then you're coming up here, right? You're going to be doing another 30%, and then you're getting 24% bonus damage, and you're getting bonus stuff there, bonus stuff there. There's so many stacking modifiers. This seems like the most insane single target damage dealer the game has had. Like, August has just been outclassed. Now, August has an advantage where, I mean, he does have built-in armor piercing, I suppose. This character doesn't necessarily. And August could take a lot more turns and can sometimes hit AoE. So there are situations I would use August over this character. But if you need one thing to die really badly, I don't think there's going to be another character in some time that does this much damage. I also believe this is their signature. Just increasing attack and defense by 4 to 8%. And then you're immune to Bound 1 time. Has a 2-turn cooldown. I think I am going to attempt to pull for this and put it on Ballista, because Ballista stuns himself, and this will make him immune to stun. So now Ballista will be even like a little more fun to use, because I do like Ballista now. But yeah, this character seems absolutely nuts, absolutely bonkers, totally pushing the game power level wise. Where Kavar is so good at AoE and just destroys maps, this character is going to trivialize almost every piece of content that's ever been in the game. Unless they're like specifically hard countered by some sort of gimmicky mechanic that a boss has, where it's like, oh, immune until you, like the Fernando fights in the tower, right? Where it's like, oh, you can't actually deal damage to this character. You got to kill 50 to 100 of these little guys to make it work. So that would maybe not be this character's strong suit, but fighting the flower, I bet you just kill the flower. I bet you just come up and you smack that flower to death, no problem. Yeah, kind of bonkers. You could easily pair this with something like a Nana as well. Easily, anyone that can give them an extra turn and give them energy to make sure that they can keep pumping it out is fantastic. Even Coco making it so their cooldowns are shorter, like, and they're not level 5, right? You can make this a 1-turn cooldown with the breakfast and just smack them in the face. Yeah, busted character, guys, and I think that's a good thing. I like having some busted characters, and it will allow newer players coming into the game to get someone super strong and clear all the content super easy. I also like the theme. I like the killing the magical people. I always think Spellblades are fun. Anyway, guys, that's all for this one. Much love. You should probably pull for this character, but I'll see if I do a second video on him later. Anyway, much love. See you on the flip-flops. Bye. On the rise, watch the views go up. Content king, never down, always show up.